Good evening, everyone. My name is Anna Hull, and I am glad to have you here tonight for our Building Your Family webinar. I'm going to go ahead and get started so that we can get you out on time. To guard against interruptions, I have muted you all for the presentation and will unmute you in the end for questions. If you're listening in by computer, you're more than welcome to type in any questions into the chat box throughout the presentation, and I will get to those at the end as well. There we go. Okay, like I've said, my name is Anna Hull, and I am one of the program coordinators for Carolina Adoption Services. As a little bit of an introduction, I've been at Carolina Adoption Services for just over 2 years. I was adopted transracially as an infant, and I truly enjoy being able to work with families and other adoptees to share my experiences and educate others from an adoptee perspective. My contact information is on the screen in case you need it. As a rundown tonight, we will be talking about the international adoption process in general, and then we will go into a description of the countries that we work in more specifically. Last, we will touch on some adoption resources to help defray some of the costs for adoption. Here at Carolina Adoption Services, our vision is to place more children worldwide with forever families, provide exemplary service to adoptive families, and to positively impact children who remain in difficult situations. We have over 20 years experience in international adoptions and are a certified 501c3 nonprofit, In addition to assisting families with adoption services, we also fundraise and organize orphan care projects to ensure that children are cared for in their home countries while we wait permanency. Carolina Adoption Services currently offers adoption programs in 6 countries: Armenia, Bulgaria, China, Haiti, South Korea, and Uganda. In general, all families follow the same basic adoption process, though each country's laws and guidelines are different. At CAS, families work one-on-one with one of our program coordinators to help them through every step in our country's processes. For each country, CAS works with our in-country partners to facilitate every adoption. In some countries, we work with orphanage staff. In others, we work with in-country adoption agencies or local facilitators or attorneys. In the latest news, we had one family arrive home this month, and one family has received a referral in Armenia. Our representative in Armenia is currently working on getting photos for a whole new group of waiting children that we're going to be advocating for especially. In China, we've had 2 families travel home this month, and we will have 2 more who will also travel for their first and final trip later this month. We currently have 7 children on our special focus photo listing. These children are eligible to be matched with a family before a family's dossier is submitted. Because we've had so much activity lately in China, we have a great need for new families in this wonderful program. In Haiti, we have seen our first Hague families receive referrals, and also had our first Hague families arrive home. Currently, we have 2 families scheduled to arrive home next month. In South Korea, wait times are continuing to decrease for children. We are also always looking for new families in this wonderful program, especially as wait times continue to shorten. The adoption process. Step 1, the home study is where you will be approved to adopt. Families will work with their licensed home study agency in their state to gather the information for their home study, and then will apply to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to bring an adoptive child in the U.S. Your home study will involve a number of things and will also involve some education to help you get prepared to adopt. Step 2 is the submission of your dossier. Your dossier is submitted directly to your country and is the file that you will complete to allow you to be matched with a child. After your dossier is submitted, the waiting process will begin, and this is the time where you wait for a child to be matched with your family. Step 3 is after you have received what's known as a referral. After a match has been made and approved by the country, you will be notified and will be able to choose whether or not to accept the referral. If you decide to proceed, then the adoption process continues from there. Then step 4 and final is travel. Depending on the country that you adopt from, the travel requirements will vary. Some countries complete the bonding and court processes all in one trip, and other countries require multiple trips to meet all the requirements, travel requirements. A home study is something that all potential adoptive families must complete and is done by a Hague-accredited home study agency licensed in your state. If you live in North or South Carolina or in Virginia, this is something that that Carolina Adoption Services can complete as well. ABC is our subsidiary agency in Virginia. If you live outside of one of our 3 states, we regularly collaborate with dozens of agencies across the country and world even, and are happy to make a recommendation for an agency license in your state to complete your home study. Your home study is the process by which your family is approved to adopt. This is a very paperwork-heavy process that also includes meetings with a social worker and allows your home study agency to get to know your family and to approve you to adopt. You get to use this as an opportunity to learn about the complexities of adoption, consider what kind of parents you will be, and prepare yourselves for parenting an adopted child. CAS will work closely with you and with your home study agency, if applicable, on all the pieces required throughout this process. After your home study is completed, it will then be submitted to USCIS, which stands for United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. They are the agency, the government agency, who will approve your family to bring a child to the U.S. In general, it takes about 3 months to complete a home study, and then about 1 or 2 months extra, depending on their timing, to receive immigration approval. Your dossier serves as your family's introduction to the place and country. These are the documents that they'll use to get to know you before selecting a child to match you with. You can begin working on your dossier while you are completing your home study. Once your contract and Part A fees are returned, your program coordinator will provide this dossier packet and help you get started on the dossier. Some documents in the dossier are time sensitive, like medical exams. The program coordinators will help you schedule your tasks so that everything is done on time and does not expire. Another important part of the dossier is your preferences in a match. Your home study, USCIS application, and dossier will outline the age range, the number of children, and any medical conditions that you're open to. Your social worker with your home study agency and the program coordinator can help you come to these conclusions based on your family lifestyle and parenting expectations. No one ever forgets the day that they get the phone call about the referral. This is truly one of the most exciting times in the adoption process. The amount of information you receive about a child can vary greatly among different countries. This is mainly due to differences in how children come to care. If a child comes to care through abandonment, such in China or sometimes Uganda, then the background investigation that is conducted will also be included in your referral information. If the birth parents are known, then you will receive any medical or family history that is available and any information about the pregnancy as well. You are encouraged when you receive it to have the file evaluated by a doctor who has experience in international adoption. We have a reference list available if you would like it. In some countries, you will travel immediately for a bonding trip. In other countries, the adoption is completed in one trip that encompasses meeting your child and finishing the court processes all in one go. Updates, videos, and Skype can help you keep in touch while you wait and help the child get to know you better before coming home. Families must travel for an international adoption. Married couples are currently and strongly recommended to travel together. This is something that is required for the bonding trip if there is one, and optional for the pickup trip if that's a separate trip. Carolina Adoption Services will help you arrange all adoption-related travel, meetings, and appearances. Our in-country facilitators will either escort you themselves or provide you with a guide or escort while you are there traveling. Some of the elements of adoption travel are meeting your child in the city where they are currently residing, whether it's an orphanage or foster care, bonding time through scheduled meetings or even staying on the same premises as the child. At that time, you will also receive custody depending on the country that you are traveling to. Oftentimes, this will include the finishing up of court processes, including family court appearances. And then finally, there's often the travel to the capital city or an embassy location for the U.S. visa and medical exam. After coming home, you will have preliminary post-adoption visits at 1, 3, and 6 months after placement to ensure that your family is doing well and that your child is adjusting. At these early visits, any interventions can be caught early and families can get extra help if needed. This is the best way that we can provide assistance to your family as you settle in and provide assurance to our countries that our children are safe and thriving after coming home, which is very important to ensure that we can continue to provide for forever families for children in need. Post-adoption requirements from the placing country can vary from about 2 years post-placement to all the way through the child's 18th birthday. And we will give you all the information that you need about that when you come home. After you come home, our relationship with you doesn't end then. We remain able to provide resources, events, education, and more, and continued support of your family. You are now part of the CAST family, and we want you to stay connected. Now, to start on some of our country programs in particular, we will start with Armenia. We have long-standing programs in both Armenia and Bulgaria. There are a lot of similarities between these programs, so I'll talk about them a little bit together. Both countries have modern social work systems overseeing both domestic and international adoptions. Both countries house their central adoption authority through their Ministry of Justice. Our in-country partner in Armenia is a lawyer. We are one of very few agencies operating in Armenia and the U.S., and this is one of CAST's longest running partnerships. Armenia's capital is Yerevan, which is 9 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. While both this and our Bulgaria programs have a smaller number of children adopted in the United States overall each year, they do offer a lot of stability in the adoption timeline, and in the process of adoption are very good options for children, for adopting children. In Bulgaria, Bulgaria's capital is Sofia, which is 7 hours ahead of us here in North Carolina, Eastern Standard Time. We work with the non-governmental organizations Happy Child and the Family National Association. Much more medical and social information is available about the children in Bulgaria as compared to Armenia. Children of school age go to public schools in their communities. They often reside in orphanages or small familial type group settings or in foster homes. Children often have access to many enrichment activities like sports, arts programs, and grandmother and grandchild type programs, which is awesome. Families are often able to Skype with their children between trips, which helps facilitate the bonding process and keep everyone connected while they wait. We match families in our China program through the CCCWA shared list or through our one-to-one orphanage partnerships. China has several requirements for adoption. There can be a maximum of 50-year age difference between the youngest parent and child being adopted, or 45 years old for a single woman. Single women can adopt any child, not just a child through the special focus program now, which is a change from the past. A child who has been on the CCCWA shared list for 60 or more days is considered special focus. Special focus children are able to be matched with the family before they have submitted their dossier. At CAST, our program is smaller, so families do not have a long waiting list ahead of them to be matched and are also able to benefit from more personalized service, which is always nice. We currently have 3 partnerships with individual orphanages in China. We have partnerships in Guangxi province and Jiangxi province. In Haiti, most of the children who are available for adoption live in what is known as creches, similar to what we would consider a licensed orphanage. According to Haiti's regulations, children must reside in this creche that is licensed and approved by IBESR, which is the Central Adoption Authority in Haiti. All international adoptions must go through IBESR, who is responsible for matching the children with families and facilitating the adoption process in Haiti. In the past, adoption agencies had individual relationships with different creches in Haiti, but now that they have joined the Hague Convention, families may be matched with a child from any creche in the country. In South Korea, our South Korean partner placing agency is Family and Children's Agency up in New York. Matches are made through the Korean Social Welfare Society. Children reside in foster care, and birth mothers can make adoption plans and are cared throughout pregnancy. Families can meet their child's foster family during the trips, which is always exciting. South Korea requires 2 trips that are several weeks apart. All visits take place in Seoul, which is where the children reside, and no additional travel is required outside of Seoul, so it's a nice trip. And many families talk about how lovely they find Korea when they go. In Uganda, we work one-on-one with accredited partner orphanages. Children are ages 6 months and up at time of referral and are often considered healthy. The government and orphanage do require a statement of Christian faith from all families hoping to adopt from Uganda. Currently, Uganda is undergoing changes to its fostering requirements. After a match has been made, families will now need to reside in Uganda full-time for 12 months to be considered eligible for adoption. So that's a change from the past, and they are still working on finalizing these new changes. So be on the lookout for more information about that. And those were our country programs in a nutshell. Here at CAS, we are accredited by the Council on Accreditation. We are also Hague accredited as required by all international adoption agencies. And we are a member of the National Council for Adoption, which is one of my favorite resources for adoptive families. With adoption costs and expenses rising, there are many options and ideas available to help you defray adoption costs. There are many foundations and endowments, religious organizations that are local, and many employers who will also help support your adoption as well. For a long list of recommended resources, websites, and ideas, go to our website at www.carolinaadoption.org/paying adoption costs for more information. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and have been given some information worth thinking about. I'm going to open the mics up now in case you have questions. I'm also more than happy to speak with you by phone or by email, or if you're close by, I'd love to schedule a time to meet with you in person. Okay, well, if that is it, then I will wrap things up. We'll be putting up a recording of this webinar on the website so that you can have continued access to it. I thank you for taking the time to listen in, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your evening. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.